Bryan Kohberger, the man accused of killing four University of Idaho students in November 2022, has agreed to plead guilty to all charges as part of a deal to avoid the death penalty. The plea agreement was confirmed Monday, June 30th, and marks a significant development in the high-profile case that shocked the nation. Kohberger had previously pleaded not guilty and was set to go on trial in August. As part of the plea agreement, Kohberger will plead guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. In exchange, prosecutors will remove the possibility of the death penalty and instead recommend for consecutive life sentences without parole, plus 10 additional years for the burglary charge. The agreement also stipulates that Kohberger will waive his right to appeal. A change of plea hearing has been scheduled for Wednesday, July 2nd, where Kohberger is expected to formally enter his guilty plea before the judge. The sentencing is expected to follow later in July. Reaction from victims' families has been mixed. Some, like the father of victim Madison Mogen, said the plea deal brought a measure of closure. "We're grateful that we don't have to sit through a long trial and relive all of the details," he said. "This helps us start healing." However, others expressed anger and frustration. The Goncalves family, who lost their daughter Kaylee, said they were blindsided by the deal and felt robbed of the opportunity to see Kohberger held fully accountable in a public trial. "We weren't consulted, and we were devastated when we heard the news," the family said in a statement. Prosecutors defended their decision, citing the difficulty of securing a death sentence and the long appeals process. "This plea ensures the defendant will spend the rest of his life behind bars," they said. "It spares the family's years of uncertainty and emotional trauma that a capital trial would bring." Kohberger's trial had been scheduled to begin on August 18th in Ada County. The defense had recently asked for a delay, arguing they needed more time to review evidence, but the judge had denied that request and ordered both sides to be ready. Kohberger, a former PhD student in criminology at Washington State University, was arrested in December 2022. Authorities said DNA evidence tied him to the crime scene, including a knife sheath left at the house where the students were killed. Cell phone records and surveillance video also placed him near the scene during the early morning hours of the attack. The 4 victims, Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, were found stabbed to death in an off-campus house in Moscow, Idaho, in the early hours of November 13th, 2022. The brutal killings and subsequent manhunt for the suspect garnered national attention and led to months of speculation before Kohberger's arrest.